Hello students. So this is a lecture on solving the problem for three-phase DVR compensated system. In the previous class I have discussed the basic concept, the circuit structure and different applications, and we have solved a DVR compensated problem for a single phase system. Today we will talk about a three-phase DVR compensated system. Please refer the example 6.5 of the NPTEL book that I have uploaded and given to you as a soft copy of this book, and we will today discuss about this example. There are some corrections in this. I will also indicate that while discussing this problem. So in this problem we have been given a three-phase compensated system. You can see in the figure here, figure 6.16 and figure 6.17. Okay, these three-phase system are of two types. One is called three-phase three-wire system, three-phase four-wire system. In three-phase four-wire system we do have the connection between the two neutrals of the system. You can see it here. Okay, so the problem tells about the three-phase system is given to us with a 1.0 at the source voltage. So you can see it here that this is the voltage of 1.0 at the source voltage, and we have to calculate the terminal voltages VTA, VTB, VTC, as well as the source voltages VSA, VSB, VSC, and the effective source voltage VSA, VSB, VSC dash after compensation. We have to consider the two cases. The one is with the case of the three-phase four-wire system, and case 2 is three-phase three-wire system. We will see that three-phase three-wire system providing the compensation is very difficult. The problem is that the neutral is floating, and hence for a specified voltage at the load terminal we must have the source voltages which meet that condition, and in case of the floating neutral achieving that condition is quite difficult. We will discuss the point. Literally this problem get converted into this problem. Okay, now the parameters are given for three-phase system. As I said, 1.0 is nothing but 230 volt phase RMS 50 Hertz, and the source impedance is 0.01 plus 0.01 per unit for all three phases, and the load which is being connected to the A phase, B phase, C phase, the A phase is 0.3 plus J 0.4 per unit, and B phase is 1.2 plus J 1.3 per unit, and C phase is nothing but infinity. So the C load is open. There is no current in the third phase. Clear? So now we'll go let us further. So we are taking first this problem, and as I said, this for three-phase system, solving three-phase system basically means solving each phase separately, and particularly three-phase four-wire system, so each phase is independent through the neutral, hence it is the solving the problem phase-wise. So whatever we did for the single phase system, we will do the same thing for three-phase system, and solve the each phase DVR voltage separately. Clear? Alright, so let us start with the case 1. So as you see, this is the Bn, which is same as the Bnn, because it is 3-phase 4-wire system. So the two neutrals are connected together either through the local grounding or by connecting them to the nearby ground somewhere on the line. If there is no compensation, that is without DVR, then we can find out the load voltage and see what is the situation. So load voltage can be found out by this expression. Okay, you just simply find out BLA is equal to BSA ZLA by ZLA plus ZSA. Okay, ZLA plus ZSA, because the voltage is being divided between the impedance for given BSA. The value of BSA is taken as 1.0 per unit. You can see it here, and this is the value of impedance. If we simplify this, we will get the expression for BLA as 0.85 angle of minus 5.07. So what do we see? There is a net reduction of 15% voltage at the load bus. (15% reduction straight away), and that means the load may not function in a phase properly. Similarly, we can find out the current for this voltage. So ILA is nothing but, now we will find out ILA. We can find out ILA from the previous one also, but that does not make much sense because that current is based on this load actually. Okay, if you want to find out current, you can also find out BLA by simply ZLA. What I am saying, the ILA without compensation will be nothing but BLA by ZLA. Okay, but we are not interested in this current anyway, because the BA is quite small and it may give some current which is not satisfactory current for the operation of the load. So we will find the current which is required current. We will say the new value of, therefore, BLA is 1.0 per unit. This is the new requirement. This is the requirement of the DVR. The DVR must maintain load bus phase A. Okay, and this gives the current of 2.0 angle of minus 53.13. So this current is 2.0 angle of minus 53.13. Now once we know the angle of current, we can find out the angle of DVR voltage of phase A. So the angle of DVR voltage of phase A is angle of BFA, angle of ILA plus 90 degree, which means minus 53.13 plus 90 becomes 36.87. This is the angle of DVR phase A voltage. And once we know this, then the cosine of this becomes A1, and so A1 becomes cosine of 36.87, and B1 becomes sine of 36.87. This implies A1 as 0.8 and B1 as 0.6. Okay. Now once we know this, substitute, find out the feeder drop in phase A. The feeder drop in phase A is nothing but ZS into ILA. This is the feeder drop, and this is nothing but 2.0 angle of minus 53.13 into 0.01 plus 0.1. This is the feeder drop, feeder impedance given to us, and this is the current. Multiply and solving them gives the real part and imaginary part, thus making as A to A and B to B. This means A2 and B2 coefficients for A phase. So this is A2, B2, A to A, and this is B to B. Okay. Now we know all the coefficients. We need to only solve the voltage equation, quadratic in BFA. Okay. So we substitute these values in this equation and we solve for BFA RMS magnitude. So this is the equation that we have to solve for BFA. This we already have derived actually, and this has come from the simple relationship between the voltages using Kirchhoff voltage law in a loop. That is, BSA is nothing but BLA and then the drop across the feeder ILA into ZSA and minus BFA. Okay, so this becomes actually BFA A1 plus J B1 BA1 B1A actually. This becomes J B phase A actually should be 1A, not 2A. So 1 has to come first. So I will just change it again to make it more clear. This is B1 for A phase plus J B1 for A phase. And this is a drop. So this becomes A2 for A phase plus J B2 for A phase. And this has angle of 0, so it simply becomes BLA, which is 1.0 in this case. Okay, this becomes 1.0. This also becomes 1.0. BSA is 1.0 actually, and angle of some delta. So this equation has come by squaring and adding the real and imaginary terms. Then we will get this equation. I have discussed in the last class. You please go and revise this so that you are clear from where it has come. Now in this equation, we simply substitute the value of these coefficients. Okay, A2 is here, A1, B1, B2, and BFA to find this is A2 and B2. If we substitute these values, we will find that this gives the quadratic equation in BF, which gives the following solution. Okay, what is this equation? Values, I will just put it once more. The value comes out to be 0. Let me check it in my notes so that 1.7, yeah. So the value of quadratic equation is BFA square. I will add it here. This comes out to be BFA square minus 2 BFA plus 0.3844 equal to 0. Okay. So this is the quadratic equation which comes from this. Solving this equation will give us two solutions. The one is 1.7, another is 0.2153. Obviously the correct solution will be 0.213 because this requires less voltage and less effort to compensate. So BFA 0.2153 is the correct solution. Therefore, we now know what is the magnitude of the VFA and what is the phase angle of the VFA. So we know the magnitude and phase angle, and therefore we can find out its expression in the time domain. I can write like this, that VFA, what you will compensate will be VFA as a function of time will be root 2 of 0.2153 sine of omega t plus 36.87. This is the time domain expression for the dVr, and this voltage has to be realized using the voltage source inverter. Now once we know this voltage, then we can find out the terminal voltage, what it looks like. So VT is nothing but VLA minus VFA, which is 1.0 angle of 0 minus 0.12153 angle of 36.87. This becomes 0.837 angle of minus 8.87. Okay, and then we can also find out what is the BSA. So BSA is nothing but VTA. You see the diagram, the source voltage is terminal voltage plus drop across the impedance, ZSA into ILA, this term. So this is BTA, just we find out, we have just we compute this value, and then this is ZSA, this is ILA, multiplying them gives the 1.0 minus 1.43 angle. So this is nothing but BSA. Okay. Now this BSA will get after specifying the load voltage, and you can see there is slight phase shift in the value of BSA. This phase shift is minus 1.43, which looks quite unexpected, because we really cannot modify the source voltages, and source voltage can be taken as a reference voltage. So how to shift these angles? We will see what is the solution for this. Normally the phase shifters are used to achieve this small angle deviations to meet the conditions of the voltage compensation. Alright, let us find out what is the effective source voltage. As I said, the effective source voltage is nothing but BSA plus BFA, because together it acts like a effective source. VFA is also like a source. Okay, it is also like a voltage generator, which is trying to compensate the voltage sag or voltage swell or voltage interruption. So together, if we join these two voltages on the phasor basis, we will get that BSA comes out to be 1.17 angle of 5.1, which shows the angle is positive and magnitude is good enough to transfer the power from source to the load. Individually, the angle is minus, you can see it here, but as a whole, when you take the effect of the DVR, it is perfectly okay, because the power has to flow from the source to the load. The same concept has been repeated for phase V. There is no difference, okay, except that the impedance of this load in phase B is different. So in spite of 0.3 plus 0.4, we do have the new load as in phase B 1.2 plus J 1.3. This is the value of phase B load impedance. And this is the source, you already know it. This is ZS. Okay. So the ratio of ZLB by ZLB plus ZSB into BSB will give you BLB. So if you solve this, then we get BLB as 0.95 angle of minus 121.87. This shows that angle at the load bus phase B voltage has reduced from minus 120 degree to minus 121 to 0.87, and magnitude has reduced from 1.0 to 0.95. Ideally it should have been 1.0, but now it is 0.95. It's not much reduction, 5% reduction. This can be well tolerated. But A phase voltage there was significant reduction. Nevertheless, our aim still is to maintain this voltage at 1.0 for the faithful operation of the load. So let this voltage be 1.0 per unit. So this is the required load voltage. 1.0 angle of minus 120 degrees. So remember here we are taking phase A as a reference voltage. Okay, phase A as reference voltage. We can solve this problem, either we can make this phase as a local reference voltage, or we can still continue to take phase A as a reference voltage. Okay, whatever way we can solve in both the ways. So let us take that the reference is still the same, BLA. So reference is still the same, so BLA equal to 1.0 angle of 0, and with respect to this the BLV is this. Now once I know BLV, then I can find out ILV as the ratio of BLV by ZLV. Okay, and this gives the current of 0.565 angle of minus 167.29 per unit. Once I know the current of this, okay, then we can find out other parameters. But now since BLV has an angle, so it has two parts, the real part, imaginary part. One is cosine of minus 120 and plus j cosine of minus 120 degree. So if you express this BLV phasor in the real imaginary part, then BLV is equal to cosine of minus 120 plus j sine of minus 120, which means it is minus 0.5 this portion and minus j 0.866. Okay, this is the value of BLV bar or BLV phasor. This BLV, you can say the real imaginary parts of the BLV, because this equation has to be used somewhere. Okay, all right. The angle of BLV is BFB is the angle of ILB plus 90 degree, in order to ensure that there is no active power consumed because of this TBR. So therefore minus 167.29 plus 90 becomes minus 77.29. This is the angle of the DBR in phase B. Now this has therefore two parts, the cosine parts and the imaginary parts. So we have a cosine here, we have a sine here. Okay, so this becomes cosine part, this becomes this sine part, and this implies that A1 is 0.22 and B1 is minus 0.97. So I have used on B1B, okay, A1B. So this is A1 for B phase, this is B1 for B phase. Remember, the sign is negative here. Don't get confused by this sign, it could be anything. Okay, so all depends upon that what is my reference phasor. So here it is negative. Now once we know this A1 and B1, the next step is to find out the voltage drop in phase B. So voltage drop in phase B is nothing but ZSB into ILB, which again 0.01 plus the 0.1 into 0.565. This is the current, and you simplify this, you will get this is the real part of this is the imaginary part of this, and which further means that this is A to B, this is B to B. Therefore, A to B is 0.0069 and B to B is minus 0.0564. Okay. Now, once we know this, then we can find out what is the VSB and so on. But let us try to write the equation of the voltage in the closed loop path of this DVR circuit voltage, and you can see that this is nothing but VSB is equal to BLB plus drop ZS into ILB minus the DVR voltage. Substitute them back, you will find there is slight modification in the equation, and you can check it here that there is now additional term called BLB cos delta LB, the angle of the load voltage in phase B. This is delta LB. This is not zero. Actually in the beginning it was zero. So you have a reference phasor, but this is not zero. This is minus 120 degree as compared to the phase A voltage. So therefore we have to consider its real imaginary part. So let us add the real part and real part together. So this and this together becomes the real part and together. And the imaginary part becomes BLB sine delta LB plus B2B minus B1 VFB. Now while squaring, what we will do, we will call as this one function. Okay, we will not expand them by in a square form. This is like a one term. This is another term. It's like A minus B square. Similarly, this is one term and this is another term. So it's like A minus B. This is also C minus D square. So then we will square the real and imaginary coefficients on the left hand and the right hand side. We will get on the left hand side as BSB square, this term. On the right hand side, this is the square of this, that is A to B dash. Now let us call this whole thing as A to B dash. Check me. The whole term is now called as A to B dash, and this term is called as B to B dash here. Alright, so we were here and trying to solve this. So this BSB square is now A to B dash minus A1 here BFB whole square, this whole square, and the right hand side will become V to B dash minus B1B BFB square. Okay, so if we simplify this, then we will get a new equation like this: BF B square minus 2 in bracket A to B dash A1B plus B to B dash B1B into BFB, and then the coefficient term, the constant term is A to B dash square plus B to B dash square minus BSB square. So this is slightly different from the previous one because there is an angle associated with the BLB. Fine. Now solving this equation, we will get BFB square minus 1.5827 BFB plus 0.094 equal to 0, and this gives the two roots for this voltage. One is 1.5209 and 0.0618. Obviously this is the most preferred because it has a least value of voltage, and therefore the feasible solution is VFB equal to 0.0618. Therefore VFB is 0.0618, angle of minus 67.29. And we construct this in time domain, it becomes VFB function of time equal to root 2 into 0.0618 sine omega t minus 77.29 degree. And this voltage, reference voltage, this has to be constructed by a voltage source inverter. And like previously we have done, we can find out the BLV, BTB, which is BLB minus BFV. This BTB comes out to be 0.956 minus 122.59. And therefore BSB is BTB plus the drop across the feeder, and we solve it, we will find 1.0 minus 120.44. So there is a slight phase shift in this voltage also by 0.44 degree. The magnitude is maintained 1.0 per unit. The effective source voltage we find out is nothing but BSB plus BFB, and this comes out to be 1.0459 angle of minus 118.12 degree. So again there is just some phase shift with some change in the magnitude. Okay, so this is for phase B. For phase C, as you know, that the impedance in this load is infinity. It basically means the phase C is open, as you have seen in the diagram of the circuit, and that means ILC is equal to 0. Once ILC is equal to 0, there is no voltage drop across the feeder, and hence the BLC is same as BSC is same as 1.0 angle of 120 degree. So we have same voltage as the source voltage, which is 1.0 angle of 120 degree. So with this we are able to maintain BLA equal to 1.0 angle of 0 and BLB as 1.0 angle of minus 120 degree and BLC as 1.0 angle of 120 degree with source voltages as BSA equal to 1.0 angle of minus 1.43. Okay, and BSB is BSA equal to 1.0 angle of minus 1.04 and BSB is 1.0 angle of minus 118.12 and BSC is 1.0 angle of 120 degree. But thing is that you may ask question, well, I have specified these voltages, okay, and for this specification we have found that the source voltages are like this. While their magnitudes are 1.0 per unit is fine, but who will adjust these phases? Who will adjust these phases? You need this modification in the phase angles. The relative phase shift of some around 2 to 3 degree or sometimes 4 degrees and so on. Okay, so for that, to maintain this voltage, the phase shift, we need to use some kind of a phase shifter to achieve this scheme. Okay, phase shifter. So phase shifter will try to adjust the relative voltages such that it gets the scheme correctly implemented. Okay. Now coming to the second case, when this is 3-phase 4-wire system, actually does not make a interesting problem, because the neutral is floating, and for such a system realizing the source voltages after specifying the load voltage becomes a very difficult task. You can see it here. Let us try to find out first. since this is three-wire system, we have to first find the neutral voltage because the neutrals are floating. Okay, so as you know that the neutral voltage between the two neutrals is nothing given by this expression. This I have explained earlier actually. You can look at the previous notes. Okay, where ZA is sum of ZS plus ZLA, because this is the total voltage in phase A. In the book, I have not considered this ZS. We have taken ZA as ZLA. Okay, this is approximation. But you can overrule the approximation. You can find out the exact value of the ZA, which is sum of ZS plus ZLA. Similarly, ZB and ZC. Okay, solve this, then you can find out the value of VNN. This gives the value of VNN as 0.7108 angle of minus 20.69. Quite significant voltage. And once we know this voltage, then we can find out VLA and VLV and VLC, which is nothing but BSA N. By default it is N actually, respect to N, minus BNN into ZLA by ZLA plus ZS here. Okay. Now once we substitute these values, we can find the value of VLA is nothing but 0.3559 angle of 31.79. This is the value at the load bus phase A, 0.35559. Okay, this voltage of the phase A load voltage. Similarly, we can find BLV and BLC. So this is BLV here, same way, and you can find BLC as well. You see that there are highly unbalanced voltages, A, B and C. Okay, they are quite unbalanced and they are not acceptable to the load, and hence we need to try to compensate these voltages. Fine. We can also find the load currents for this. So you can find the load currents for A and B and C. This is BSA minus BNN by ZS plus ZLA. Here this is basically capital N here by default. Okay, this is capital N here. And ILC is 0 because the load impedance is infinite. So these are the three currents before compensation. Okay, this is ILA, this is ILB, and this is 0. So we know the load voltages as well as the load currents before compensation. Now we have to provide compensation. Fine. So when you provide compensation, what is the logic? The logic is that the phase load must experience 1.0 per unit voltage. If you refer the diagram, okay, I'll just go back to the diagram here. This is diagram. So what actually has to be there is this, that this load impedance, this is ZLA. Am I correct? ZLA must experience the voltage of 1.0 per unit. It means BLA with respect to N. BLA with respect to N. That basically means BLA capital N must be equal to 1.0 per unit. So if we say that this is my reference point, the N, sorry, this is small n actually, please correct this. This is small n, this is capital N. So this is a small n here, and this is capital N. Okay. So BLAN is 1.00. Similarly, BLV with respect to this is 1.0 angle of minus 120 degree. This should be BLB, and obviously BLC must be equal to 1.0 angle of 120 degree. So these are the new voltages. Okay. Therefore, the problem becomes similar to the first one, because I am computing as if this is my reference point, let us say ground point, and I am solving this problem with respect to this neutral, small n. Okay, and then if you do, it is almost same problem. You can even solve it. It doesn't make much sense. So therefore, if you see, this is my BLAN. So BLAN, this is actually small n. Okay, the whole thing is small n here. So BLAN is equal to 1.0 per unit. You can see it here. Okay. If you say there is a neutral voltage floating, for the time being, I will ignore this. I will say BLAN minus BNN equal to BLAN, and this whole voltage has to be equal to 1.0 per unit, which is BLAN. Okay, and then divided by ZLA. This is same as previous case. This is same as previous case. This is same as previous case. And if you solve this, we will get the same result. Okay, you can verify. The results are similar actually. BSAN and this BSA, they are same as the previous results. BSA is equal to this, BSAN is this, okay, and BTN is same as this. All are with respect to 0.2154, 36.87, they are same voltages. Because everything I am computing is with respect to the load neutral. If this is so that A phase and B phase problem solving is similar to the previous one and results are same as the previous one, then what about the source voltages? So you can see it here. This is for B phase, FB, and this is the B phase terminal voltage, this is source voltage, and this is the effective source voltage. They are same values as the previous one. Absolutely same values. Okay? Same as previous case. That is 3-phase 4-wire system. And phase C is also same because current is 0, and therefore the BSC and BLN is 1.0 is same as BFC is 0, and BTC is same as 1.0, and BSC is same as 1.0. Okay. Now the question is that, well, I have solved the whole problem with respect to the load neutral. See it here. This is the with respect to load neutral. As if this neutral is my reference point, my ground point, and we have solved this problem with respect to this point. Then what about the voltages with respect to system neutral? Okay, that is BN. BSBN you can say, or you can say BSCN or BSAN. What about these voltages? Because on the source side, we don't have access to the load neutral. On the source side, we have access to the system neutral, capital N. In that case, we will use this equation. Okay, we already know what is BSAN. Is it? So this BSAN can be written as BS AN minus BNN. Check me thoroughly. This is BSN minus BNN. This implies that BSAN is same as BNN plus 1.0 minus 1.44, which is BSAN. And if you substitute this value, then we will get BSAN is equal to minus 1.6 here, 874 angle of minus 9.43. This is BSAN. And BSB, BN accordingly add this, the value of BNN here, you will get BSBN, capital N. And once we add the value of the C phase, okay, this is C actually, correct this. This is not B, this is C. So this is actually C. Then we will get BSC as 0.6365. So if you think that the neutral voltage on the system side, if it is floating, then we have to adjust these values in order to get the desired compensation, which is very difficult task because the adjustment of angle is quite large. This is minus 1.943 minus, here it is 81.9 and plus 74.98. Okay, these are the new angles. Also the magnitudes are quite different, not 1.0. This is 1.6, this is 1.12, and this is 0.6365. So it becomes very difficult to realize such floating voltages at the system side using phase shifter or using the auto transformer. It can be done, but it becomes its own problem to be solved. Therefore, what is the suggestion? That we need to ground both these sides. What I'm saying, in the new scheme, in spite of taking the same neutral voltage like 0.7108 angle of minus 20.69, this need not to be fixed, which has come from the previous unbalanced system. Rather, we will say that let us make it equal to 0. What does it mean? It means that the two neutrals are connected together, or you can also say the two neutrals are grounded locally. So we have individual grounding for both the neutrals, and they are having 0 voltage, which basically means that B and N is equal to 0. Okay, and that solves the problem. This makes the case similar to 3-phase 4-wire system. So essentially, the second problem reduces to the first problem. The case 2 reduces to the case 1. If we follow this scheme, because once we have ensured that there is no potential between the two neutral, it becomes 3-phase 4-wire system. Okay, so although you can solve it for 3-phase 3-wire, but it does not make any sense. Hence, we transform this problem as 3-phase 4-wire by having the local grounds for the system side and for the neutral side. I hope it is clear, and if there is any doubt, please send mail to me. I will stream this through YouTube, but I will not open up for comments because many nasty comments are coming on this website. So I will not allow the window for commenting, but you can send email, or we can have some conferencing through which we can discuss. So with this, the course is completed. I advise you all to solve the problems in the back of each chapter, the DBR chapter and the previous one, the theory of load compensation. Okay, any doubt, please write me back so that I can discuss with you and help you to get the correct answer or understanding. This problem which I have discussed now is slightly different from what is given in the textbook of NPTEL book. So you can overrule the attached soft copy of this unit. There are some errors. You have to go through these notes rather than the book notes. And the problems in the back of this chapter also should be solved like this only. Okay. So with this I will stop.